This is Daniel, and welcome to Man Talks. Good to see you. Nice to have you here. I'm excited today. I thought I'd celebrate with a little bit of my favorite music. That was Barbershop Simulator by Slower Pace. That's right. That's a vinyl record. I'm a nerd. And that was the final track off that album. One of my favorite vaporwave artists. I thought, why not? Why not have a little bit of extra special music today, my friends? Because I woke up this morning and I had 7,000 views on my video from yesterday, which is insane. I don't think I've ever had that many views on a video in my life. Well, not that quickly. I have a couple of videos which have done well over time, but for a video to kind of go viral, if you like, I know that's not quite viral, but it is for me as a small YouTuber and streamer. I thought that was pretty friggin' amazing. So I'm very, very grateful to everyone who has watched that video, has liked that video, commented, subscribed. It's pretty cool when you start creating something, you put it out there, and you think, is anyone going to like this? Anyone going to watch this? And lo and behold, it starts to take off. And thank you to the YouTube magic algorithm, however the hell that works as well. I guess that was part of it. But yeah, clearly what I was saying in that video started to resonate. So if you didn't catch it, it's part of the live stream snippet that we did last on Monday. So this is a live show we do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And this is episode 5 of Man Talks. So great to have you here. My name's Daniel, and I am your host. And I'm working on a few things in the background, my friends. I've got a lot of really cool things coming up that I think will be very beneficial for anyone who is watching this show. I'm trying to make it into something that's very valuable for all of you. And so if you're watching live right now, I appreciate you. I can see a few people there. Hello, my friends. And if you're watching this later, please leave a comment, say hello from wherever you are in the world. And I'd really appreciate it. Today, we have an interesting topic, one that has been brewing in my mind for a couple of weeks, and I didn't quite know how to position this, but it just came to me the other day. And it's something that I think a lot of men fall into the trap of, and that is having what I call dangerous mindsets. So these are certain ways of thinking, of perceiving the world or yourself, and they can tend to actually damage not just yourself, but the way that you function in the world, and then also your relationships with other people, your success, a lot of different things. So we're going to talk through those today. And to do that, I need my glasses because I'm 46 and I can't see. But yes, we're going to talk about dangerous male mindsets. So that's our topic for today. And I'd love to get your comments and thoughts about what you think of these, if you relate to these, if you've ever had any of these in your life. I think it's an interesting topic to discuss. So what is a dangerous male mindset? What does that actually mean? Well, I looked up the definition of the word dangerous just to make sure that I was correct in what I was saying. And dangerous basically means able or likely to cause harm or injury in some way, or likely to cause problems or have adverse consequences. So that gives you an idea. And basically what I'm getting at here is that if you have one of these mindsets, you can tend to set yourself up for failure, frustration, feeling dejected, depressed, feeling like life isn't going in the way you want, primarily because of the way you're thinking. So that's what we're trying to get at today. These are dangerous mindsets, I believe. And by the way, I have had all of these mindsets at some stage in my life. So I'm not saying other people have them. I am guilty just as much as anyone else of having them. So I want to make that clear up front. And I think that hopefully you'll relate to some of them as well. So there are actually 5 of these, 5 mindsets that I think we need to be very clear about and understand and help us to overcome. So I'm going to go through those, and then I'm going to explain some ways that I have learned to overcome these mindsets and things that have helped me and some other people that I've talked through with these in the past. So the first of the 5 mindsets is that life owes me. Life owes me something. Now, I put a couple of examples here: money, sex, fame, power, control. Typically, these are the things that men seek in their lives, some semblance of these, right? There might be something else for you. But the idea is that somehow life owes you something. And I think this is it's a difficult thing to express in an objective way, because many men feel like they deserve success or they deserve some sort of reward in life because they work hard or because they've paid their dues or whatever you want to say. And I think very often we can lean into this mindset, especially after we've started to accumulate some small amount of success in our life. We think, well, life owes me something now, right? And I think especially in our 30s and 40s and 50s, this one can come online a lot, where we tend to fall in this trap of thinking that we're owed something in life. I know for me, very much one of the things that has really been a struggle for me is the idea of life owes me money and life owes me power. Those are two that I really struggle with personally, and I'm sure you have some as well on this list here. But nothing good comes of believing that you deserve something or that you're owed something in life. There are no guarantees in life. This is something I've learned. And very often as men, I think when we work hard, we think that we're owed something, and therefore we start to get into resentment when we don't get it. So a lot of life is our perception of it. As we know, there are circumstances that kind of stack up against us sometimes, but often this perception that life owes you something can be a trap that you can fall into and can damage your life if you're not careful. So life owes me something is not a good mindset. It can actually be dangerous if you're not careful. The next one is I'm the only one who, and it might be I'm the only one who knows this, who feels this, is going through this. And this one is particularly prevalent, I think, for men, because we tend to perceive ourselves as lone wolves, as mavericks, as very independent in our lives. And we think that I'm the only one going through this, or I'm the only one who sees the world this way. And there's kind of a internal reward, an ego reward for doing that. But it also isolates us. There's a tendency sometimes, because we see ourselves as the only one who's going through something or seeing something, that somehow we, even though we're independent, we're unique, we're the only one going through it. And that can cause us to isolate. It can cause us to resent other people. It can cause us to basically not get along well in the world because we don't perceive that other people are suffering in the same way. It can also stop us from reaching out for help. And I think this is a big issue men have, particularly as they get older. They don't want to seek help or say that they're struggling with something. So they tend to hold it inside and think that they're the only person going through it. Now, I know for myself, obviously, as a person who shares his thoughts and feelings on the internet, I know as I put my words and thoughts and feelings out there about what I'm perceiving, it tends to actually break this cycle, this way of thinking and feeling. But I think it is something that we can all fall into if we're not careful as men, that we think I'm the only one who is going through this, feeling this, or knows this. So be careful. The next one, the next mindset is if only I had. Right? If only I had a certain relationship or a certain amount of money or new friends or more time or better health or certain possessions, we can fall into the trap and the dangerous mindset of thinking that you need something external to actually validate you and to make you feel happy. I created a whole video about this recently, about the idea of men mess up their lives by seeking external validation. Check that out if you get a chance. But the idea here is that if you fall into this mindset of if only I had whatever it is for you, you are basically trapped by that thing, by the lack of that thing in your life. And it's your mindset that causes it most of the time. So if you are a success-oriented person, a goal setter, a person who's chasing something, very often this can be a big trap that you can fall into, is if only I had this number of subscribers or this amount of money or this amount of recognition or respect or whatever it is for you, you will find that it tends to trap you because you're waiting and you're putting your happiness on hold while you're waiting for that external validation in some way. So that's one of the traps, I think. And if only I had whatever it is, will keep you chasing and keep you very miserable a lot of the time. The next one, the next mindset is it's too late. And some examples of this might be it's too late for me to start something. It's too late for me to stop something. It's too late to fix this in my life. It's too late to try again. It's too late to make amends with this person. The reality is, as long as you are breathing, it is not too late. Okay, so whatever it is in your life that you want to do or you want to be or you want to have, you can pursue it. Now, I know this flies in the face a little bit of the last one, which is the idea that if only I had this, right? But the thing is, very often we can trap ourselves thinking, well, it's too late for me. A lot of the comments that I see on the videos I've been making lately for men in their 30s is, it's too late for me to start again, or, I can't fix my life or whatever. This is a dangerous mindset, my friend. If you fall into this trap of thinking it's too late for yourself, you're just disabling your ability to actually be in control. So I know for myself, there's definitely been times in my life where I've thought, man, it's too late for me to start over again, whether it's in business or a relationship. But really, if you get stuck in this, it's only you who are limiting yourself. And that's why it's a dangerous mindset. So, is there something in your life where you're telling yourself that it's too late? Then maybe it's time to let go of that mindset and realize it's not too late. And the last one, which I think is the most important for men to realize, is this means. Okay, now, very often in life, if we have something happen to us, whether it's a failure or a setback or even a success, we attach meaning to that thing. And the danger of doing that is that we then start to create a frame around our life based on that meaning. So if we have a couple of things that don't go our way for a while, we start to say, this means I'm a failure. Or if we have a bunch of things that do go well, we say, this means I'm a success. Now, neither of these are very healthy because we're framing our life with a certain description around it, and it's causing us to kind of get out of reality. It's looking at the world through a certain lens. So, this means, or making meaning of things, can be a trap no matter what it is. The big ones that I see a lot for men, even though they keep it internal, is that I'm unworthy and I'm right. So, they might not believe they're worth whatever it is they want to have in their life. Or they might say, I'm right about this. I know what's going on. I know the truth. And that can be a little bit of a righteous thing. And that kind of meaning, again, can be a trap no matter what it is in your life. And I see a lot of people that I know, myself included, who have spent many years in this trap of this thing means this or creates this meaning. So, whatever it is in your life, there's probably a few things that you've kind of got caught in. Examine them occasionally and say, does this actually mean this, or am I just choosing to attach this meaning to it? All right. It's a tough thing to face sometimes, but it is a very strong reality check that can really, really help. So, those are the 5 mindsets that we typically get stuck in and that are dangerous for men, particularly in their 30s and 40s and beyond. But how can we start to overcome these mindsets, right? This is the big question because it's well and good to be aware of them, but then how can we start to overcome them? So, the first step is actually just simply awareness. Right. Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he said that awareness in and of itself is curative. And what that means is if you're aware of something in your life, you can actually start to change it. You can actually start to, fix it, or at least start to catch yourself in the act of doing it. So whichever of those 5 mindsets that you might have creeping into your subconscious or into your conscious life, just be aware of them. Just go, oh yeah, that's true. I do think that way, or I do say that to myself, and just catch yourself in awareness for a little bit. And you'll find that that will actually start to change your behavior because you're consciously aware of what's going on. So that's the first stage. Second stage is to stay neutral. Now, this is one of the hardest things that I've had to learn to do, and I've had a lot of mentors help me with this over the years, is to learn to just be neutral in certain circumstances in my life, in most circumstances in my life. What it means is not judging things, not making meaning, not jumping to conclusions, not getting too emotional, just realizing that things are happening around you and you get to choose how you react, how you respond. And you can choose to be neutral if you want to be. It takes time to understand this, but in most circumstances, if you look at what's going on, if you stay neutral, you actually have more power. You have more position. A great example of this, if you watch the movie Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12 or Ocean's 13, Brad Pitt and George Clooney's characters always stay neutral no matter what's happening. Everyone else kind of freaks out around them, but they are very neutral and they just embrace what's happening, but in a very neutral way. And that helps them to get their way over time. So this can be something, I know it's a movie, but it's a good example of how it works. And you can notice the neutrality in their characters if you watch it. So staying neutral is the second step I find to overcome these mindsets. And that leads us to the third, which is to accept reality. Now, this sometimes can be hard to do. I know I've been through failures and breakups and a lot of different setbacks in my life, but the sooner that you can accept something has happened, the faster you can move on from it and you can start to enjoy your life again. I don't believe that all of life should just be happiness and rainbows and joy. There should be some struggle and some frustration, some sadness, some setbacks. But at the same time, if you can accept the reality that you're in right now, it helps you to move beyond it. Okay, so just looking at what's happening to you, even if the circumstances aren't what you want in your life, I think they can help you to, you can help you to move past them if you're willing to accept them and say, okay, this is what I'm seeing, this is what's happening. Again, staying neutral and accepting reality, it will then help you to move past whatever it is you're thinking or feeling in the moment and to start to figure out ways to improve your life. And then the final step is to value the journey. And this one I know kind of sounds a bit cliched, right? But really, at the end of the day, we are all living our lives in one direction. That's forward. And we have to enjoy and embrace what's happening. Even if there's frustrations or there's sadness or there's disappointment or setbacks or whatever it is, if you can look at them and say, this is part of my life journey. This is teaching me lessons, it's building character, it's adding color to my story, whatever you want to say, all those kind of mindsets help you to enjoy things a little bit more. I also think having, as cliche as it sounds, the attitude of gratitude, realizing that already you have a lot of great things in your life, just being alive is one of them, or having, your health or your clear mind or whatever it is, even if it's as simple as that, being aware of that, valuing it as part of the journey, that helps you to actually feel better about where you're going. If you look back 10, 15, 20 years at the struggles that you went through, the frustrations that you faced, and the things that you overcame, very often those are the things that actually made you into who you are. And today you value them a lot more than you realized in that moment. So no matter what's happening to you right now, no matter how difficult it might be, rather than falling into those dangerous mindsets, just value the journey that you're on and realize that it's leading you to a better place. Because, my friend, I promise you that it is. So there we go. Those are the things that I think we need to overcome as men, the 5 dangerous mindsets, and also 4 steps to help us to at least be aware, to start to be neutral, to accept the reality, and then to value the journey that we're on and hopefully live better lives as men. I hope that that is insightful for you. I know it's a lot to take in, and I encourage you to go back and watch this and think about it and maybe write some comments for yourself if there's things that you need to think about. I've found that journaling about these things really helps because it starts to clarify my thinking and the ways I'm catching myself in the act of those kind of mindsets. So I hope that that's useful for you. Well, there we go, my friends. That's my little story for today. That's my my ideas that I have to share with you. Again, I'm very, very grateful for all the incredible views and comments and likes I've had over the last 24, 48 hours. My channel's just been booming, which I don't know if it's going to continue. I sure hope that it does, but these things tend to be cyclical. So I really enjoy it and value it as part of the journey myself. And if it starts to taper off, it does. But yeah, I'm really grateful to you if you're here today. I can see there's several people here on the stream, which is amazing. Thank you for being here. And also we have a couple of comments. We have Blaster XT9. He says, "Hi, sir." Well, hello to you too, sir. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. I hope today's episode was useful for you. And Just a Guest, I don't know if that's actually your name, but hey, gave me a little hand wave. Well, right back at you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Truly appreciate it. So we are coming to the end of today's show. I hope that this has been insightful. As I said, I'm trying to do these shows every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around 1 to 2 p.m. I'm still testing the times to do them. 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific seems to be an ideal time for most people because the people in the UK and the people on the East Coast and then in Australia can all see the stream and hopefully interact. My goal here really is to keep building the community. So if you're here today and you're considering becoming part of it, I really appreciate that. I'm trying to create a forum and a place for men to talk openly and honestly about their challenges and also the joys of being a man in the modern world, particularly for men in their 30s and 40s and 50s and beyond. So if that sounds appealing, I appreciate you being here. Thanks to everyone who's watching right now. I will be back Friday with another episode and some more cool stuff. But until then, hope you're well, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, everybody.